Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is ABS News Talk with yours truly, Chris. I know I'm, as usual, very excited coming to you tonight from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Thank you for tuning in. I'd like to welcome all of you who are tuned in from all of Africa by way of satellite television and from across the globe by way of the social media, that is YouTube and Facebook. In the days to come, in the few days to come, we'll also be streaming simultaneously on the TikTok. ABS is coming to TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we will be coming to Twitter. So if you can go ahead and subscribe to our handles on Twitter and TikTok, that will be awesome. Then you can get us any moment when we come on live. But I would like to appeal specifically to those of you watching by way of YouTube to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you get automatic notifications every time. The Anchorman is live, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight we come to you with updates from Cameroon on the killing of Anicet Ekane. And I don't want you to miss my monologue for today. I think it is critical, it is important, it is educative, it is inspiring. And I would love you to stay put through the end of this broadcast. Go ahead, for those of you watching by way of Facebook, hit your share button and let everybody out there know that the Anchorman is not just live. I am alive. As you can see, this is truly me, not AI. You know, nowadays AI can do anything. But you can see me, you can feel me, you can actually ascertain that this is the voice of the Anchorman. So please go ahead, hit your share button, and let everybody know I am live. I'm sorry for coming late today, but the good thing is that this broadcast is always on YouTube and other social media handles, and people can always go back there to watch it. Please, I'd like you to stay put, as I will be back in a very few seconds. Stay put, please.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, thank you for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight again, I bring you updates with about the mother of Anicet Ekane in La République du Cameroon. Yesterday, Monday, November the 1st, the 1st, we are told that he died in the military hospital in Yaoundé, and why the administrative authorities in La République du Cameroon would want everybody to believe he died after a brief illness. The families have said, no, he didn't die of any brief illness. He was suffocated, and this is their own wording, not mine. He was suffocated to death. We also learned that after abducting him or arresting him on the eve of October the 25th, precisely October 24th, right before the announcement or proclamation of the Cameroon elections in October, he was picked up, taken to Yaoundé, and his oxygen tank was refused him. And the family has actually said before he died, he was slowly struggling to breathe. And that is exactly what killed him. The inability for him, the confiscation of his oxygen tank, and left with nothing. He couldn't breathe normally, but slowly but surely he gave up the ghost. And when La République du Cameroon discovered that he was disintegrating essentially, they rushed him to the hospital and he passed there. Now, this is what we are learning. We are learning that an autopsy was supposed to have been conducted today in Yaoundé. However, that did not happen. That did not happen because the family, ladies and gentlemen, the family refused. And they said their own physician must be present before the autopsy is done. I don't know if doing an autopsy mean anything in Cameroon, because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The officials will continue with their impunity and do whatever they want to do. Let me read this statement coming from the family member. This is what they are saying. The autopsy scheduled today at 10 a.m. on the body of Ekane, and he said, at the mortuary of the Yaoundé Central Hospital did not take place. His legal team, mandated by the family, opposed it. They requested and obtained a postponement to a later date. It is expected that the family will meet to appoint their own forensic doctors who will work alongside those designated by the authorities who had been holding him in illegal detention until it resulted in his death. The investigations announced yesterday, that is Monday, by the government have moreover not yet begun. That is, investigation into his death, moreover, hasn't begun, and this is also awaited. The investigation is also awaited. In the meantime, I will be bringing you an audio interview conducted by Angie Fombin right there, right here in Washington, D.C., with Emmanuel René Sadi, the Minister of Communications in La République du Cameroon. And Emmanuel Sadi pretends as if he is just hearing from Angie Fombin of the death of Anicet Ekane. I'm going to bring you that interview. It is short and you will listen to it. He claimed innocence. He claimed he didn't know. He has to go find out, a tactic of trying to escape answers to questions. Now, the public will be kept informed of development according to that statement. So, that is a statement from the family. An autopsy was supposed to have been conducted today in Yaoundé. It did not take place because the family and the lawyers of Anicet Ekane have insisted that their own forensic doctors must be the one, their own experts must be the one who conduct the autopsy in the presence of government-owned experts. That is that update, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we know all these things are done in Cameroon. They do it because they want to save face. They do it for window dressing. Because after that, it ends there. It ends there. Nothing ever happened. Remember the case of Ngarebu in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, where the mass grave still lies there. The mass grave still lies there. Of course, Cameroon carried out their so-called investigations, and guess what happened? They indicted their own soldiers for carrying out the mass murder in Ngarebu. But what happened to those soldiers who carry out that mass murder? They are still walking the streets as free men and women, still receiving their salaries, still in their positions, no punishment at all. But again, the reason they carry out certain investigation is to save face before the international community. And so we don't expect anything from the investigation leading to the death of Anisette Ikane, as people hope they will. Nothing, zero, nothing will change. But I'd like to bring you this interview, ladies and gentlemen, coming from, again, the Cameroon Minister of Communications in the person of Rene Sadi. Rene Sadi was responding to questions posed to him by Angie Fombin. If you can go on Facebook, just search Angie Fombin. Her name will be on the screen here, and you can see the original interview there. It was an audio interview, not a video interview, but I'll bring you the whole thing. Angie Fombin does some good interviews, so I'd like you to listen to her interview with Rene Sadi Emmanuel. He is again the Minister of Communications in La République du Cameroon. The interview is on the subject of the murder, the suffocation to death of Anisette Ikane. Watch or listen, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Minister. My name is Angie Forbin. I'm a U.S.-based Cameroonian journalist. I wanted to ask you a few questions. Are you aware that Mr. Anise Ikane has just died?
Well, I heard it this morning.
But he'd been in jail.
I heard it this morning.
Okay. But what's the government saying? He's been in jail for almost 40 days. And for the past 3 weeks, he had been saying that his oxygen extractor had been seized by the gendarmerie, a gendarmerie colonel called Mr. Otulu, and nothing was being done. He said that he was in a health crisis and he needed help, and for some reason, his oxygen extractor was still not returned to him. How does the government feel about such a thing?
Well, let me check up. You know, I am the spokesman of the government, but I'm not the subtitle administration or the minister in charge of police and gendarmerie. I will check up. I'll ask the governor what happened, and then maybe I may come back and inform you, okay?
But even from a personal perspective, sir, an ace politician like that dying in detention in such conditions, what is your own personal perspective? How do you feel about this? Does it tell well about the vibrance of Cameroonian democracy?
I am sad. I'm sad. It's Ikane was my friend. I knew him very personally. So I'm very sad. So this is my own feeling. I'm sad.
Do you think he should have gone to jail?
Many of us are sad.
Do you think he should have?
Sorry?
You think he should have been thrown in jail for his political activism? Was he a threat to democracy?
Well,
do you think he was a threat to the nation's peace or democracy?
You know, there are some decisions which are taken, and people think that when they behave like that, they do it for the interest of the country, but sometimes, you know, they do not consult those who can have a different position. So I think we should regret what happened. We should regret what happened. You know, if I were there, I would not have allowed that. You see, it's my own point of view. Okay. But let's wait and see. I presume that we'll try to clarify the situation.
Okay, we thank you so much for your time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, you listen to it there, ladies and gentlemen. That was again Angie Fombin interviewing Emmanuel Rene Sadi, the Communications Minister for La République du Cameroon. In that audio clip there, Manuel Rene Sadi says, I heard about it. I heard about the death of Anicet Ekane. I heard about it like a very distant person, you know, very, very distant person. He is speaking as though he's not a member of government and as though he's not even the communication secretary. Then when Angie pressed on him, but what do you think, sir? Do you think he was a threat? And he said, Ekane, do you think he was a threat to democracy? He said, well, if I were there, if I knew about it, I wouldn't have allowed that to happen. I wouldn't have supported it. I am going to find out from the governor and the rest of the chain of administration to find out what happened. And he tries to dodge everything and say, let me investigate and come back and inform you, okay? But Angie, being a smart lady, a smart reporter, a smart journalist, says, but what do you really think, in your own opinion, sir, was this man, and he said, a threat to Cameroon? Should he have been arrested in the first place? And Manuel Rene Sadi says, he had different opinion, but I am sorry for it. Everybody is sorry for it. Sorry for what, sir? He is dead and gone. Of course, I understand when you say you are sorry for it, because that means the end of it. The end of it. The family will lament, as we saw yesterday. Please, if you have that footage there, let's see that family again. Look at the family of that man. Their lamentations will end this way. Take a look. All right. You find the family members of Anicet Ekane in Douala lamenting, weeping, the mother of their brother, of their son, of their husband. But I'd like to go back to something that Rene Sadi insinuates in his interview with Angie Fombin. Rene Sadi says certain decisions are taken without consultations. If he was aware, he wouldn't have supported the killing or the circumstances that led to the murder of Anicet Ekane. Now, when Rene Sadi says he wouldn't have supported, and he actually says certain decisions worth other opinion in government. Now the question is, who is he talking about? Of course, he is talking about Paul Atanganji. Paul Atanganji is the Minister of Territorial Administration. Now, when Rene Sadi says, you know what, I still have to find out about this. I need to talk to the governors. I need to talk to the chain of order. Guess what he is saying? He is essentially indicting Paul Atanganji. Paul Atanganji is the supervisor of the governor, the rest of the chain under the governor. So, essentially, Rene Sadi is saying Paul Atanganji is responsible, should be held responsible for the death in detention of Anicet Ekane. Paul Atanganji. Of course, this does not surprise anybody. Paul Atanganji can do anything in that country. But one thing I know for sure is the time of reckoning will meet him and his cronies in that regime will continue to do this. Please do not touch your remote, because I have a very specially crafted monologue for you today, especially if you are out there and you are Cameroonian. I'd like you to listen to it. Let's look at other reactions about the death of Anicet Ekane. Let's look at other reactions from Cameroon. This is Kawala here. Listen.
It's no good reason. Because the government of Cameroon cannot tell us why did they arrest him. Why did they arrest him? They cannot tell us if they arrested him and they knew his health was fragile. Why was he not given proper health care? His lawyer had to come to social media to raise the alarm because his health care was not what it should be. And what I can tell you as women leaders, we went to see Minister Atanganji. We went to see Minister Rene Sadi just last week, Thursday and Friday of last week. And during the meeting with Minister Atanganji, we particularly raised the case of Mr. Anicet Ekane and his health. And when we were talking at that time, the minister was behaving as if we are exaggerating. Oh, he's okay, he's in a hospital, the military hospital, have very good health care. But here we are. Here we are. And we know for a fact that they did not take the care which they were supposed to take. So the government owes us explanations. And the government should understand that we are not going to put up with this. They are not going to continue kidnapping Cameroonians because they want to conserve their power at all costs. We must all die. They must arrest everybody. They kill everybody because they have to remain in power. This is not going to be.
And when you hear the family say they will abandon the corpse in the hands of the government, do you think that's the best idea or solution?
You cannot kill somebody and then tell their family how they should cry. You cannot. You cannot. It is the family's right. However they decide to mourn their person, it is their right.
And what can you keep of Anicet Ekane?
I can say personally, what remains in my mind of Anicet Ekane, I came back to Cameroon in 1989. And in the 90s, Anicet Ekane was one of the biggest fighters that Cameroon had. He was somebody who knew that we have to fight for rights, political rights, social rights, economic rights. I remember the fight that he led against Sonel at the time for us to have electricity, and unfortunately we are still having problems with electricity till today. So I remember him as somebody who was dedicated to Cameroon as a country and who knew that we had to fight with the people and fight on the basis of rights.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's no good reason. Because the government of Cameroon cannot tell us why did they arrest him. Why did they arrest him? They cannot tell us if they arrested him and they knew his health was fragile. Why was he not given proper health care? His lawyer had to come to social media to raise the alarm because his health care was not what it should be. And what I can tell you as women leaders, we went to see Minister Atanganji. We went to see Minister Rene Sadi just last week, Thursday and Friday of last week. And
all right. We went to see Mr. Atanganji. We went to see Mr. Rene Sadi. Rene Sadi is a guy who just spoke to Angie Fombin and saying he didn't know. If he had known the conditions of Anicet Ekane, definitely he wouldn't have died in prison. In fact, he said Anicet Ekane was his friend. It was his friend. His friend was in jail. His friend was in jail. But the good thing is Rene Sadi is pointing fingers to where the cause of Anicet Ekane's death is. And the cause is Atanganji. Paul Atanganji. One of these days, I will be doing a story and I need your help out there. I really, truly need your help out there. I'm doing a story of how Paul Atanganji became minister in La République du Cameroon after serving time in jail, a felon serving time in jail, becoming minister of that country. I need your help. You got any information, any documentation out there, please forward it to me in the phone number you will soon find on your screen after my monologue. I am doing a special digging on how Paul Atanganji became minister in La République du Cameroon. And if you know anything out there about it, you have some facts, you got some documentation, please, again, forward it to me. I will be working on that story because certain people should be exposed, just as I am going to expose Paul Biya today. I call him criminal at the presidency. That would be the subject of my monologue for today. So please stay tuned when I come back. When I come back, I come to you with my monologue for today, and after that I bring you my panel for tonight. Go ahead, please hit your share button as I return in less than a minute. Stay tuned, please.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level.
All right, thank you for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. Again, at this moment, I bring you my monologue for tonight, which I title Criminal at the Presidency. Again, Criminal at the Presidency. That is the subject of my monologue for tonight. And after the monologue, I will bring you the panel for tonight. In 1992, I wrote Criminal at the Presidency. It was not of exaggeration, or it was not out of exaggeration or rhetorical flourish. It was a statement of fact, one anchored in the blood, the ashes, and the torn lives of Cameroonians who had dared believe in democracy. Paul Biya had rigged an election, ordered state thugs to brutalize opponents, killed citizens, burned property, and imprisoned dissenters to hold on to power. At that time, that is 1992, some said calling him a criminal was too strong a word. However, 23 years later, and now 43 years into his suffocating rule, criminal at the presidency is an understatement. What do you call a man who steals the will of a nation decade after decade? What do you call a ruler who weaponizes the military, the police, and the gendarmerie against his own people, slaughtering them, torturing them, abducting and disappearing citizens as a method of governance? What do you call a leader under whose authority journalists disappear, pastors are beaten to death, activists are chained chained, ladies and gentlemen, to hospital beds, and political challengers die in custody. There is only one word for such a man: criminal. And that is the character that has ruled Cameroon for 43 years. A criminal is not merely one who has been convicted by a court. A criminal is also one who commits acts of felony, whether or not the legal system has the courage or independence to name him. By every moral, legal, and human standard, Paul Biya of Cameroon matches the definition of a criminal. And Cameroon, for decades now, has been effectively run by a criminal cartel, with Paul Biya as the godfather at the top. This is the legacy of his stolen mandates. From 1992 to 1997, 2004, 2011, from 2018 read elections of October last year, every one of Biya's so-called victories has been built on the same architecture, that of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, ballot stuffing, military deployment, and the psychological terror of a state determined to crush dissent. Each election cycle in Cameroon has come with predictable violence: homes burned, voters beaten, opposition offices ransacked, and hopeful citizens turned into prisoners or corpses simply for demanding transparency. Cameroon does not hold elections, it survives them. And this time, Paul Biya emerges again, soaked not in legitimacy but in the blood of those who dare dream of a different future. To understand Biya's criminality, ladies and gentlemen, one need not rely on theories. The evidence lies in the graves, the mass graves, the mortuaries, the unmarked burial sites, and the silenced hearts of Cameroonians and Southern Cameroonians whose only crime was truth. Samuel Wazizi was taken into custody in 2019. A journalist, a presenter working for a private broadcaster in Boya, covering sensitive issues, including government handling of the Amazonian conflict. Samuel Wazizi was arrested following critical remarks about government policy, about Paul Biya's government policy. 5 days later, he was transferred from a police station in Boya to a military facility, the 21st Motorized Infantry Battalion in Yaoundé, and held incommunicado. No contact with his family, nor with his lawyers. Then, on June 5, 2020, the authorities publicly confirmed he had died in custody. Shortly after his transfer to Yaoundé in a military hospital. Official statement, a military one, claimed he died of severe sepsis. Human rights groups, Reporters Without Borders, and his family dispute this. They know he was held incommunicado for months. No independent autopsy was confirmed, and the photographs shortly after his transfer reportedly show signs of physical injuries, that is, torture, leading to suspicions of leading to suspicious cause of his death. The government claimed he was being questioned. He never came out alive. He was tortured to death under mysterious circumstances. His body hidden. His family left without answers. His only weapon was a microphone. His only threat was honesty. under a criminal regime, the Bias type, that alone was fatal. How about the case of B.B. Ngota, the reporter who exposed corruption? B.B. Ngota was editor-in-chief of the privately owned Cameroon Express newspaper, an active journalist for about 15 years. He was arrested in early February 2010 along with 3 other journalists on charges of falsifying a government document tied to Lauren Eso for alleged corruption. After a brief release, he was rearrested and held at Kondenge Central Prison. He died on April 22, 2010 in his cell. The official death certificate cited lack of medical attention, failure to render assistance while in prison. But how about Rodrigo Ngagu Kufet, the activist who insisted on truth? Rodrigo died in custody in 2022. His crime? Being an activist. His death was shrouded in the usual opacity. No investigation, no accountability, no remorse. Cameroon buried him secretly and quietly too, hoping the world would not notice. But the silence around his death remains an indictment. Now, how about Tangem Thomas, the pastor chained to a hospital bed? Here is a story that should haunt every Cameroonian. Pastor Tangem Thomas was arrested during the so-called Anglophone crisis in your terminology. The torture he endured left him terribly injured. When he was finally taken to hospital, he was chained. He was chained to his bed like a dangerous animal. He was starved, then weakened and humiliated. He died there, shackled, in chain, ladies and gentlemen, under the watch of the state that called itself his government. What kind of leadership chains a dying pastor to a hospital bed? A criminal leadership, of course. And now comes Anisset Ekane, the latest victim. Anisset Ekane, as you all know, he was detained, brutalized, suffocated, murdered in custody. His death, like all the others, is explained away with Rahil's lies. But the truth is unmistakable. Cameroon is now a country where death in detention is not an accident, but a policy. The question is, who is next? The French philosopher Montesquieu taught that the government exists only through the legitimacy granted by its people. A government that ceases to represent them. A government that turns against the people forfeits its right to rule. When such a government becomes predatory, when it devours its own citizens, the people not only have the right to rebel, they have the obligation. Cameroon crossed that threshold years ago. This is no longer a government. It is a cartel, a criminal one, a criminal enterprise masquerading as a state. Its purpose is not national development, but self-preservation. It does not defend the people. It defends itself against the people. And Cameroonians must confront an uncomfortable question. And the question is, why has this continued for 43 years? Why has it continued for 43 years? Whatever you Cameroonians learn from Ambazonians, did you learn anything? Are Cameroonians this weak? Biya is not immortal. He is not invincible. He is not even competent. Yet he has ruled for 4 decades because the people he tyrannizes have been conditioned to fear their own liberation. Each year that passes makes the chains feel normal, the abuse tolerable, the violence expected. Is this what the children of Reuben Iyobe and Felix Momi have become? It is such pitiful. A nation of 20 million held hostage by one man and a handful of corrupt loyalists. Are Cameroonians truly powerless? Or have they simply surrendered their power? How long, ladies and gentlemen, for how long will they lament, Cameroonians lament, mourn their dead, bury their heroes, whisper in fear, and then return to life as though nothing happened? How long? For how long will millions of Cameroonians allow one aging autocrat to define their destiny? Mr. Paul Biya ceased being a president long ago. He is now the chief architect of Cameroon's suffering, the primary obstacle to its progress, the single greatest threat to its stability. Removing him, rebelling against him is not an act of rebellion. It is an act of national duty and national healing. It is long overdue. The social contract has been broken long ago. The moral contract has been shattered too. The political contract was never honored. Cameroonians must decide whether they are citizens or spectators, whether they will continue waiting for salvation or seize their own freedom. Because the world will not save Cameroon. The African Union, the United Nations will not save Cameroon either. France will certainly not save you. Only Cameroonians can save Cameroon. The criminal in the presidency in Yaoundé, Paul Biya, will not stop. He will never stop. Criminals do not stop until they are stopped. Every Cameroonian knows the pattern. After one death comes another. After Wazizi came Tangem Thomas the pastor. After Tangem Thomas came Rodrigo. After Rodrigo, now we are talking about, and he said, Ekane. Who is next? Your brother? Maybe your daughter? Maybe your pastor? Your journalist? Maybe your neighbor, or maybe you. Cameroonian citizens must choose between continuing this slow national death or reclaiming its dignity. Cameroonians can rise, or they can keep lamenting. But lamentation has never toppled a dictator, ladies and gentlemen. Complaining has never restored freedom. Silence has never resurrected the dead. If Cameroonians allow Paul Biya to continue ruling, then they must accept the consequences. That is, more disappearances, more tortures, more deaths, more imprisonments, and more despair and suffering. As long as they tolerate criminality, they will be governed by criminals. Cameroon is being run by a criminal, and you find him on your screen. This is not a metaphor, it is a live, daily reality. The evidence lies in the graves of Samuel Wazizi, Bibi Ngota, Rodrigo Kufet, Pastor Tangem Thomas, and now Anicet Ekane. Their lives were taken, not by fate, but by the deliberate brutality of a regime that fears truth more than anything else. If Cameroonians want to be free, they must rise. If they refuse to rise, then they must accept that their chains are self-inflicted. No one will liberate them but themselves. After Aniset Ekane, who else must die before the nation wakes up? Who else must die? The answer to that question depends entirely on the courage of Cameroonians. Because until they stand up, until you Cameroonians stand up, the criminal in the presidency, Paul Biya, will continue ruling and killing your brothers, your sisters, your husbands, your children, possibly also burning down your towns and villages. That is a monologue for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to bring on my panel for today. I am being joined from Washington, D.C. by Dr. Ebony Christmas. If you can adjust your sitting, sir, and that would be great. And also being joined by, yeah, that looks good. Just bend your camera slightly, please. All right. A little more, a little more, a little more. All right. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. I am also being joined, ladies and gentlemen, from Delaware by Mike Fusi. Pleasure to have you, sir.
I'm glad to be here, Comrade Chris. Actually in Pennsylvania.
All right.
Yeah.
The subject of this message is not so much about the criminal at the presidency. I hope that is an apt description of exactly who Paul Biya is. But it is much about the inability of Francophones to rise up to fight for their own freedoms. In Amazonia, we have been fighting. We saw it a long time ago. We saw not just the dictatorship, the killings, the burning of our towns and villages in Amazonia, the discrimination, the marginalization in Amazonia. We saw it a long time ago. We gave them time. The clock was ticking. Remember AAC 1993, and before then there were other events that triggered where we are today. So remember AAC 1993, remember AAC 1994, remember 2016 where we are now all started. We gave Cameroon the signal that a time is coming that we Southern Cameroonian Amazonians will no longer withstand your marginalization, your annexation, your tortures, your arrests, your killings in our territory. And the moment came. We seized the opportunity. We don't see this happening in French Cameroon. They call for lockdowns. You see, nobody respects lockdowns. I was looking at the images today from Douala, from Yaoundé. I think Monday to tomorrow is supposed to be a lockdown of that entire territory. I have been watching, asking people to send me pictures of the lockdown in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Bafoussam. I don't see anything. I see spouse shutdowns in a few towns, but Douala there is life, Yaoundé there is life, Bafoussam there is life. Nothing happened. It just doesn't appear to me, ladies and gentlemen, that Francophones, Cameroonians, they're not ready to rise up to defend what belongs to them, to take back their power and their freedom. Do they have, it just appears like they don't have the balls. They don't have the balls to wage a fight against that one man who has ruled them. Not for 10 years, not for 15, 20, not even 30, not 35, not 40 years, 4 decades. Can you imagine if somebody is 43 years old in Cameroon and has known only one president, the criminal at the presidency, Paul Biya? Can you imagine that? 43 years old in Cameroon today, they have never known a president. Look at the French. Look at London. Look at Washington, D.C. Can you tell me, can you even count how many presidents have come and gone in these countries, and Cameroon got stuck with one criminal? But what bothers me is the inability of Francophones to rise up like one man, fight for their country. I hear them talking about ghost towns. Ghost towns will destroy the economy. Frontier came in 1992, ladies and gentlemen, with nationwide ghost towns. Yet Beer prevailed. Think about that. And you think that ghost towns today will stop that dictatorship? It will not. I hear some talking about the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. What are they going to do? They don't have any history, any precedence of stopping dictators, criminals in any country. The World Bank doesn't have that pedigree, nor the International Monetary Fund, not even the United Nations, not the AU. They don't have it. So my message is to Cameroonians, if you are listening to the sound of my voice out there, it is you who would have to rise up to take back your government, take back your freedoms from that people, from that cartel led by Paul Biya. And if you think you will sit in your paneled houses in Europe, in America, on the ground and think that Paul Biya will cut and run, that is not going to happen. You have to chase him out. That is my message. But let me get to you, Dr. Ebony. I don't know if I am exaggerating here. Please tell me if Francophones have done enough to fight for their freedoms, sir.
Well, Comrade Chris, let me greet you, and I greet my dear friend Mike Fossey. I've been missing you. I've not seen you for a while. I don't know why you abandoned where we were together. You're very correct, Chris. If you look at the mentality of that country, even as we speak now, and the echoes of Chiruma being out there with a lot of organizations that are moving about saying how they are going to install him and how they are working, you would see even their handicap from doing anything tangible beyond the noise and the talking. And it is so funny that with what is going on, I can give them the excuse that they feel traumatized from what happened with the UPC and the accusations of, the slaughtering of the patriots of the independence era, like the Yobe and Wanji and all those other people. I can feel that some people might be traumatized by that. But then again, my worry and my real concern, and sometimes I try not to be angry, because anger is something very valuable in this situation, that you don't waste it and you don't misplace it. Even in the means of our own little challenges, even in the means of our little bit of infiltration into our struggle that is still making us, trying to taint us and to make us look bad. When I say us, I'm talking about us Southern Cameroonians. Whatever, if they want to call us Anglophone or whatever, that's fine. Even at this time, when the people are struggling, they fail to acknowledge what we have presented for that country. We have spilled blood for them to enjoy. They would not have multi-party today had it not been for the rise of the challenging of the system to push for multi-party. Today, even at their rise, they don't recognize us for holding this government down, for opposing this government, for resisting this government for over a decade. They don't recognize us, and they don't even think that they can learn from us. So that's part of the problem. For Anise and Jacob Chamini, these are the leaders. These are the leaders of the Chiroma rise, as I can say. If Chiroma is going anywhere, these are the guys who were leading the Union for Change like we had it in 1992. For these two guys to be arrested and being held in prison, forget about the dying right now. There was not even a cough. There was not even a whistle that we felt on the ground towards their being locked up. I probably survived in Cameroon from the 90s on because whenever I was arrested, and not everybody was as fortunate as some of us. Whenever I was arrested, our people came out and put pressure. The press. I remember a time when I was locked up in Kumba, and the whole of the standing committee of the AAC drove to Kumba to come and seek my release. So we sit here. These guys were locked up at a very crucial moment of this election, and it was all dead silence. Even at this point, given the realities of his being murdered, because that is murder, there's nothing else. There's nothing else we can call it, of his being murdered.
Right.
We don't feel the rage. So what else can your comments are very correct and they're very accurate. And I challenge the Francophones. It's not about talking big. There are some of them when they try to do something, and we try even to uplift them, we try to support them. When we try to support them, can you believe that even when you're supporting, just for you by mentioning Ambazonia, they'll kick you out of a forum?
Yeah.
That means they want you to throw away who you are in order to support them. So that's where we are. And it is sad. I've known Anissa Kane and Jacob Chamini since the 90s. These are the guys who were in jail with Yonder Black. And if you know, they are even coming to that point of being in jail was because of what was coming from the Southern Cameroon zone. Isabel Mukong and Feko, who took the idea of FDF to them. And that's how they rounded them up.
Exactly.
And how
exactly.
they rounded them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're very correct. I know that history so well. They
That's
stood
right.
up when Albert Mokon and Vincent Feko crossed over to the Mongol, consulted with Samuel Eboa and the border idea, and SDF became a national thing. It was all from Ambazonia.
Exactly. So, and even before they were locked up, it's because they themselves, when Feko and Mokong came and they were having a meeting with the Yonder Black, they leaked it to the government. Some of them leaked it up, and that's how they were arrested. So, either these people, if they really cared, we have shown them that you don't tolerate evil, you don't tolerate criminals quietly, with comfort, being your leaders. You stand up and speak truth to them in their faces. All of us sitting here, you're talking here now, we are already suffering all the punishment. Our sweet families, our parents, and my condolences that you just lost your mother. Some of us are making huge sacrifice. Death is not the only sacrifice in some of these things. Some of us are making huge sacrifices, even talking from what we did on the ground to what we are doing today, and we'll continue to do this. But we want to help that country too, not only us with Ambazonia. We want to help because a good and prosperous Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, is good for us too, Ambazonians.
Absolutely.
That is why our people are rallying behind Chiroma. Chiroma is not a saint. He's as evil as Paul Biya. But the world we know about him. But we are still able to try to help them through him because he's the only one who showed up during this election.
Right.
But yet, again, everything that they are setting up, he's going now to We don't feel him on the ground. The Cameroon should have been boiling today from the day Kane died. That place should have been in a situation where not picking up arms, because we have achieved a lot of things as southern Cameroonians without arms, when we did not get arms and they were killing us, and we're still out there looking for what we wanted.
Right.
So it's up to them to learn. We are here, we are experts. If they want to consult with us, we are waiting.
Let me move over to Mike Fusi, but before I do that, let me show you guys exactly what we are talking about here. Look at those images. These are people that the regime, the Paul Biya's regime, which is why we call it a criminal regime. The people they killed, the regime killed in Yaoundé. This is, I think, BB's somebody. Now, the other pictures are very gruesome. Look at that guy there. Look at what they made him to turn to. What they made him to turn to behind bars, ladies and gentlemen. Look at, can you believe? Look at somebody who is sick. He cannot escape anywhere. He is chained. He is chained on hospital bed. Ladies and gentlemen, chained on hospital bed. The same person is the one, that is how this guy got into prison. Look at how healthy he was when he got to prison. But you see the other pictures and look at what he became. This one was a pastor. He is dying there on the hospital bed. He is chained to the bed. He is chained to the bed. This is what is happening in Cameroon. Samuel was a journalist, killed for speaking the truth. This is what we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We call it state killings, state murders in La République du Cameroon. State murders supervised by the country. That is what it is. And we hope that, again, you hear us out there. Francophones hear us out there. It is time that you rise up and take back your country. Nobody will take it for you. Nobody will take it for you. Only you can take it to prevent these deaths. Now, we are talking about, and it said Ekane today. The question again is, tomorrow maybe your sister, maybe your brother, maybe your uncle, maybe whoever. I am speaking as one who has lost some also, ladies and gentlemen. My sister, one of these days I'm going to bring her on television here to testify the torture at set in Yaoundé. I will do that so that you guys can feel the pain. When we Ambazonians say enough is enough, you got to understand that. And I hope that it is dawning upon you Francophones that we took the right decision, we made the right choice to walk away from that damn country. My Fusi, you come in here, sir. Are Francophones curse? Can they fight? Don't they have the balls to fight? My Fusi.
Yes, we are certainly going to meet again. I did not leave you. Yeah, as you rightly asked, Chris, when you look at the behavior of these people at a time when you thought they would rise up and do what is right for their country, yet again, they just do not seem to have the balls, as you rightly said, to step forward and do the right thing. But let me just, the images you just showed here, when you look at those images and the people that have been slaughtered, those that have been killed, you can now understand why this criminal gang that is in charge of La République du Cameroon would not want to step aside, because they know that they have blood on their hands. They know they have blood on their hands, and when they step aside, they may, or they certainly will be asked to give an account of what happened to these people. That is what they would do, anything, including killing even more people, in order to stay in place. And La République du Cameroon citizens need to understand this. If they should fail to push out these criminals now, they will fortify themselves, especially when Biya must have been done away with. They will fortify themselves, and for the next 30, 40, 50 years again, they will still be in charge. That is what is at stake here. I hope they understand. But let me answer your question. Are a lot of Cameroon citizens courageous enough? Do they have the balls? Do they have the courage to do what is right? I hope so. But why I say I hope so, I'm very, very doubtful that they have what it takes to do it. Because these are people, in order to understand them, you have to first of all understand their values. What values do these people have? Their culture. What makes them tick? What do they appreciate in life as being valuable as far as behavior is concerned? Are these people who are able to organize anything? Do they know how to organize and rally people and mobilize people to do something productive? When you look at the southern Cameroons, we know that we are people, and I will include the family case to some extent, that they have some kind of organization. That's why they are able to have what they call their tontines, where they come together to put money together and do things. The rest of them don't have that. The rest of them don't have that. With us in the southern Cameroons, we know how to organize what we call community work, where people can come together and identify a project on an objective, put their resources together and achieve it. That is why even our schools, you have the PTAs. We know how to organize. That's why we have the credit unions. We know how to come together for a common purpose and work together to achieve it. La Republic Cameroon citizens don't have that. Coupled with the fact that these people are very, very weak. They have no core. They have no balls. They are so lame. As a matter of fact, I was just thinking about this, and I'm thinking, when you look at La Republic Cameroon citizens, especially the men, let me talk about the men. I find it hard to believe that there are men in that country. Considering what has happened in that country, that a 93-year-old man who is mentally confused, he does not know where he is, he can't even walk. And then if you think about the number of them in that government who are about the same age, and the youth are unable to rise up and push these old farts aside, it is just so pitiful. It's so pitiful that I think what I would say to these people is this. I will prescribe a dress code for La Republic Cameroon men. Because all they can do is target people or do what the criminal regime says. But when it comes time to do the right thing for their country, they have no balls to do it. I think all of them, the men in that country, should change their dress code. I think they really should change their dress code, and that all the men should start wearing skirts. Yeah, because that's who they are. They're all women. I don't see any men in that country. There are no men in La Republic Cameroon. They are all women. They should start wearing skirts. And by the way, they should make sure they get some high heels as well to go with it. And while they are at it, they may as well get some lipstick. Because that's who they are. They're all females. There are no men in La Republic Cameroon. No men at all. Because I don't see how a few rogues like Tanganji and Gongo will hold a whole nation hostage, and there's nobody who can rise up and do anything about it. And that's what I was saying at court yesterday, and I was reacting to the very lame excuses that were given by some of your panelists yesterday, and trying to make it seem like they are doing something when what they are doing is basically nothing. Because these people know that they have done a lot of harm to a lot of innocent people. They've caused so much pain. They have held hostage the destiny of millions of people in that country. And they understand that if they were to step aside, there is no way that Atanji will go in this world if he were to leave that country now, that he will be safe. There is no way that Ngongo will go that he'll be safe. There's no way that Shantabia will go that he'll be safe. They know that. And that is why the only way you will dislodge them is to make them fear for their lives. Until the Republic of Cameroon citizens understand that the only thing that will chase them out of there is when they fear for their own very lives. Nothing else will dislodge them. Nothing. No diplomatic pressure, nothing will do it. So, as I suggested to them yesterday, the sooner they start organizing and putting their resources together, and like Dr. Bini said, if they need lessons, we are willing to give them some notes on how to go about it. But we are not going to join them, and we will not do it for them either, because these are the very people who insulted us. They called us Ambazuzo and all that stuff. But now they're admiring us. Now we are the Spartans. We are the Spartans. And they are just weak and lame and spineless. They have no gut. They have no souls. They are not warriors. So they need to take a page from the Ambazonians. Because we have taken our destiny into our own hands and we're shaping it as we see fit. It is up to them to take a cue and do the same, or forever be prepared to live an eternity with these criminals who are causing mayhem to them and their people and their country. And you can now understand why it was necessary for us to sever any ties with these people. Because there's no way that the Ambazonians can ever see progress as long as we are hinged to the waist with these people. There is no way out. Because even when we stay with them, we try to bring up something, they say, oh, they look at us with suspicion and say, oh, this Ambazonian, this is Anglophones, we don't trust them. But then when you look up to them to do the right thing, they're not able to do it. Besides being thieves and crooks, they just do not have it in them to manage anything. They just do not have the managerial skills to run a country. They don't have it. It's just not in them. Like I said, it's not in their culture. It's not in their values. Because to them, when you have money, you keep spending it until it's done. Then you turn around and start wondering where you get the next loot of it. They don't know how to invest. They don't know how to make money grow. They don't know how to produce anything. These are some of the worst managers you can ever entrust a nation into their hands. So what I have to say is, if going back to your question, do they have the balls to do it? I doubt it. I was really counting on the Northerners being the ones that can maybe save them from this mayhem that is being caused on them. I was counting on Chiroma to be the one to do it. But when I look at what has happened since their so-called election, I'm not so impressed. And I'm not so hopeful now, except there's just some magic thing that planning out there that will come in. But so far, I'm still looking and watching, and I don't see it yet. Their words come out lame. There's no promise. There's no inspiration. There's nothing that can give the people a reason to go out there and fight. And so if you ask me, I think La Republique is in some deep shit. They are in some deep trouble. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel at this point in time for La Republique de Cameroon, honestly.
Let me ask Ebini, you hear stories like if you listen to, I don't know if you listened to the broadcast yesterday, you hear theories like ghost towns will stop La Republique. The World Bank will end loans. The International Monetary Fund will do this, will do that. Isn't that what we heard in the 90s with John Frundi? We had is that actually that's when the ghost towns started. Do you see that making any change today?
Let me tell you, I believe very much that the weapon that is effective for this government is a determined and a focus and uprising of the people non-violently. It has worked in many cases. When you talk of ghost town in the 90s, it was ghost cities, and it was not like we just have country Sunday. It was from Monday to Friday. They gave people the weekend to go and
Right.
get restock of food and other things, but it was Monday to Friday, and that was effective for
Right.
6 months in that country. That is what forced the hands of the government to try to appease through the tripartite. You remember?
Right.
They were not going to do any such thing, but it was persistent, and I think it was effective. And the two brains, as you see, the government should be afraid of these two guys and the one who just died. The two brains on the Francophone side that showed leadership towards that in the 90s was Anise Kane and Jacob Chamini. Jacob Chamini was for Cap Liberté. You remember the red cards that we were buying for $1 each, I mean 100 francs. Red cards of Bia must go.
Yeah.
That was an effective program, and the government always resolved to, when there is that pressure and they see that the people are determined on something, they cave. They always cave. The government looks for ways of people getting violent so they can suppress them with force. That is a thing that they do very easily. I can give you examples of us, even when they were shooting at us, we were very determined for the University of Boya to be created. Students and everybody came out. We were very determined for the GC board. They caved on both. So when you talk of on the ground, forget about people making these speeches about ghost town. You don't just sit there and be making speeches and saying that there's ghost town. You must have activities. You must have organization on the ground. And if people are coming out, because a determined people, there is no the African Americans here did not have any weapon. It's resistance, like a non-violent resistance, that has taken them to a place that they are today, and they are still continuing, even though they have not reached where they want to reach. They succeeded. So if you have people who are still elitists, they sit in their comfort and be talking about ghost town on the ground when they have done no work for it to be effective or for it to even happen on the ground, forget about it. All that talk about the government would be bankrupt by the World Bank and all the like, that's nonsense. They have been saying this for this country since the 90s. Oh, the foreign government will not do this. Oh, they cannot accept this. No. When a country, a territory is a sovereign nation, they can get out of a lot of things. What a government cannot get out of is the determination of the people, their people, determination to resist it. If the Francophones had joined us when we started this thing in 2016, it would have been different. The whole country would have benefited from it. But right now, we are still standing our ground. I mean, I agree that we've had certain things that are messing up our images and all the like. But we are, as you and I are talking now, if Bia is come to our face now as well-cultured people, we would respect Bia as an elder. We will respect the office that he occupies, but we'll firmly tell him the truth to his face.
Yeah.
So those are the things. I watch my friend Eric, and I see the composition of Project C, which are supported. I was on a program with Eric when he announced that even before the elections, and I thought that is something. People like Eric are elites who have benefited very much, and whom, when we were pleading, they looked the other way. They were more on the side of the government. So as much as they have name recognition and they have a place, a platform that they can move around very much, they don't have the credibility for people to be willing to make sacrifices for them, because they have not built that trust in showing that what they are doing is selfless. So right now, I give you an example. I supported Project C from the get-go. I joined some of their forums when they sent it out. I contributed money, and I was still willing to contribute. But their term is that I should not speak Ambazonia. How do I do that? How do I support anything and then not speak Ambazonia? Is that really something? They kick me out of their forum because I speak Ambazonia. I am supporting them. I want them to succeed. Even now, if they are serious, I will still contribute money. So when I watch them going about with groups like CDN, that we know what CDN has been moving around. These are non-profit organizations that move around and get pictures and do things to get grants. It doesn't mean that they are committed to anything. So I tell people to be quiet. They have firmly told us that on 11th of February, Chiruma will be sworn in. 11th of February is not far. So we should wait and see.
What makes 11th of February special?
I don't know, but that's a date that I've been reading and seeing them make speeches. That's the time we want them. Don't get me wrong, Chris. I want initiative like Project C to succeed, and because I have an interest too in Chiruma pushing out Paul Biya. He has promised us that he will release our leaders and our political prisoners. He has promised us that he will bring a genuine dialogue for our cause. He has promised us that that there will be ceasefire. Our people, as determined as we are, we should look for anything that would stop our people from bleeding and the suffering. This is 10 years that innocent children are being killed. It's not like something that we would really just want people to be killed carelessly and for our people to suffer eternally in refugee camps, or for you and I to remain out here without going to our homes and enjoying the breeze in our villages. But if people start showing the same signs of hypocrisy and failures that we have known with initiatives in that country, oh, it's fine. They might say that we have failed. We have not failed. It is not easy for us to, with our bare hands, to be fighting a government that is being sponsored with arms and all kinds of weapons of killing, with countries like France, America, and Israel, and all those other powerful countries. But our will to be free, even when we are being killed, is there, and they can feel the pinch of it. So whether it's World Bank or whatever, the only tool right now is for us to see activities on the ground. That country should be boiling today. It should be boiling today.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
With the
That's
death
the point.
of this man, with the death of the way this man died, that country should be boiling. People would have not remained silent after the election when Jacob Germany and Anissa were arrested. What are they fighting for if they could not stand for those guys? Like I'm telling you, I'm enjoying being alive and freedom today because the Anglophones, the Southern Cameroonians, stood by me each time that I was arrested, and at one point I even had military people who were coming and to my house, to my place of work. By the way, let me just do a little shout out here to my student Angie for that impressive interview. I mean, she's the daughter of my friend Bob Fobby, who used to run the Herald. So my son and friend Debussy sent that before he could come out, even sent that interview to me, and I thought it was very professional and effective and to the point. You mentioned it and you played it out in your show, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, let's look at it this way. Mike Fossey, you can come in here. Francophones, they want to fight. Somehow the balls are not there. I have heard statements like, we have a common enemy, and the common enemy is the criminal Paul Biya. But when this war started, Ambazonian war started, Francophones were contributing money even from within our territory to fund the war against Ambazonia. Money was raised in Europe. Money was raised in the US. Money was raised in Bamenda, in Boya, in Victoria, in Kumba, funneled to Yaoundé to be used in arming the Turks, the state Turks who have killed thousands in Ambazonia. I don't know whether these guys, they have conscience. Because if they have conscience, I don't know how they can turn around and be looking at us Ambazonians to support them. We are actually supporting them. I, for one, I am supporting Issa Chiroma taking over in La République du Cameroon. I support it. However, I don't know whether they want me to send or direct the restoration fighters of Ambazonia to cross over and fight for them. You remember a few years ago, they gathered in the same people who raised money and sent to Cameroon for them to arm their talks against Ambazonia. They were looking for Field Marshal of Ambazonia to go to cross over and deliver them. I don't know their reasoning. Please, Mike Fusi, come in there.
Yeah, as you rightly said there, Chris, these people, when I listened to one of your panelists yesterday, and he kept coming back to the idea that, they really admire us Ambazonians. They admire us. They really like the fact that we're so courageous. And I was just asking to myself, what is stopping you from being the same? What is stopping you from having the same courage? I guess if we are in the same country as you claim, and we are so courageous, and if you lack something, how about reaching out to us and trying to learn how we are able to do it? If you really want to do something, you try to learn how to do it. You try to acquire the skills or the talent or the mannerisms that will allow you to do what you want to do. So you don't just sit there and say, we really admire. As Dr. Bini was saying there, let's look at the magnitude of the death of Mr. Aikani. Let's look at the magnitude. This is a major political leader in La République du Cameroon who was picked up, a healthy man, you can see him there, a healthy man who was picked up for no just cause and thrown in jail. And now he is dead. Now, when you pick up somebody, even if that person has a medical condition and is relying on a certain apparatus or medication, life-sustaining apparatus or medication, and you intentionally deprive that person the access to that apparatus or medication, and in the process that person dies, you have murdered that person. That is murder. So Mr. Aikani was murdered. I feel so enraged when people say, he died in jail. No, he did not die in jail. He was killed in jail. He was murdered in jail. Because there was, as we listened to Kawala and one of the clips that you played there, where Kawala said they went and they met at Tangipo. And the minister Sadi, who is claiming there that if he was there, he would not have done the same thing. They met them and pleaded that they should give back his oxygen. But they failed to do it. They refused to do it. And this man died. A major political leader in La République du Cameroon. A man with a following. And you understand that his following was extended when he accorded his support to Chiroma. So by that act, Chiroma's supporters should now be his supporters. You would think that the streets would be full with people enraged, that people will be out there asking why it happened. But La République is calm. There is nothing. Nobody is out there protesting or asking why this man is dead. You see a few family members there lamenting all by themselves. There's no one by their side. Where are the people? Where is this crowd that we see here now to come up and ask why their leader is dead? Where is this crowd? Where are they? They are hiding in their houses, drinking beer. And that is the problem with a lot of people to Cameroon. And one thing you would ask here is when something so criminal as this one happens, you would think that a country that says it's a country of law and order, that there will be questions right now. People should be asking, why did this happen? Who did it? Who is responsible? Someone should already be behind bars right now. But I can assure you that nothing is going to happen. Nobody will be held accountable for the murder of Mr. Ekani. Whoever has done it will get away free of charge. This thing is supposed not just to end with whatever gendarmerie brigade that held him, as they say it's a gendarmerie brigade. This thing is supposed to extend right up to their so-called Minister of Territorial Administration, because he controls all those people. The governor of their littoral province should be held accountable. Atangani should be held accountable, and anyone else along the path. But nobody will be held accountable. Not even the commander whose picture we have seen as being responsible for confiscating his breathing apparatus. Nobody will be held accountable. That is La République du Cameroon to you. That is La République du Cameroon, a lawless country where anything goes, as long as you are doing it in favor of the criminal CPDM party. You can do anything to anybody and get away with it, as long as you are doing it to protect that regime. How can you imagine that something like this will happen and the whole country is silent? The whole country is silent. So what then is supposed to spur the people to come out and say enough is enough? At what point would they say enough is enough? An election is held. People came out massively and voted. And going back to that so-called election, you remember Eric came out during the interviews leading up to their so-called elections, and we're asking the question, okay, how are you going to defend the vote? And Eric was saying, there is technology these days, we have technology. And I asked myself, and I'm asking them at the time, okay, you have all the technology. Let's give you that. Who is going to count the votes? Who is going to announce the votes? Who controls those people?
Remember, we asked him and Rebecca Inonchong right here on this channel when they were so confident they have dotted all the dots and cut all the T's.
I'm surprised now that they are coming now and giving it, and again giving us all these other promises that something is going to be done. Beer is going to be this regime is going to be gone by the end of December, and that's what they said last month, right? December, this is already the 2nd of December. We're counting. We'll see if by the 31st this regime will still be in place, according to them. And these people just, like I was saying before, you can't just sit and hope that things is going to happen when you have no plan on how it's supposed to happen. What do they have in place? What plans do they have in place? What resources do they have? What personnel do they have? Who is going to implement whatever plans they have? Have they evaluated the plan they have to see how effective it is, if it has loopholes, if there are risks in that plan, and what measures they have put in place to remedy the plan if it should start to go awry? Do they have any plan in place at all? Are they even sure about what they are saying, or they just want to pacify people, to give people the false hope that they are doing something when indeed they are not doing anything? Because that's why I towards the end yesterday, I think Eric was sounding very not even confident of what was coming out of his mouth. He was not very sure of what he was saying. He was just saying something just to say something. But you could feel that there was no conviction in his heart that what he was saying, that he even believed what he was saying. There was no conviction. So as I said before, I feel very sad for a lot of people in Cameroon because they are in for a raw deal. They are in for a raw deal in the years ahead. Because if these people should survive this moment, when they became very vulnerable, like the people in Cameroon in the past few months have been very vulnerable. They just needed some courageous people to step out there and knock them aside.
And talking
But they
about
will be allowed to strengthen themselves again, plant their roots deep, and they will be here again for several more decades.
and talking
more
about
people
a courageous
like will have to pay with their lives.
talking about a courageous leadership. I hope Benin can handle this. We saw right on the eve of the elections, crowds in their thousands pouring out on the streets in Douala, in Yaoundé, in the three northern regions of Cameroon, and we were thinking there is no way Cameroon is going to rig this election because the people seem poised to take it by every means if that be the case. But I think, in my opinion, the problem is that there has been no leadership ever since then. No leadership. I don't know whether you see it that way.
I see it exactly like you're saying it. Even when we talk about francophones, I think they have what we have, but they have not had the kind of leadership that we have had. Even though if our leadership, our strong leaderships have been short-lived, but the seed was already planted for such leadership. And you see the interest even amongst our people to, even if they do that in fighting and all the like, there are people, we see in our means of people really struggling to be leaders and to lead something and all that. It could that can be good and bad. So, like I told you, the 90s was very effective in Douala and other francophone cities because of these two guys who were picked up. So I always tell people, no matter how we are talking on some of these things, I always tell our people, do not minimize this government. Do not minimize evil. If evil was that insignificant, we will not be having so many churches that is preaching against Satan. God knows the strength that he himself gave to the devil. And even when we go through prayers, the devil also prays to the same God. So if we are not very effective in our own organization to do good, to do justice, to do that what is relevant, the devil would empower. The devil has always been empowered by us being absent, by us not having the right leadership, by us not being maybe double standard in saying one thing and doing another thing, or promising people what you're going to do that you don't even put the efforts or the energy there to do it. These two guys that were picked up, and if you see the rise of Chiruma, I can also credit them that they were very effective in rallying behind him and giving him that short space that he rose from whatever ashes he was coming from, that he brought from the Paul Biya's government. I would be very surprised if Chiroma himself was not really taking unawares and surprised on the significance and the rallying that he got from during the electoral process. So the Francophones don't have leadership. The two people on the grassroots level, because these two guys, like I tell you, very effective organizers. Anise Kene and Jekam Sherman. I know them very well. I met Jekam here in the United States when he was here in the 90s. And I even had a book that he gave me in French. So I know them. They were the people for the Cap Liberty for the 90s, and the regime was very, very calculating and effective in getting them out. So once they were out and people did not rise up for them, the grassroots became very important, and nobody to rally the people. Even though people might be sitting there with significant anger in them, but they don't see where to channel that anger because
Right.
there is no leadership that could help them organize that anger. So let's hope. Let's hope that maybe something might come up. Let's. I always say that some of these things happen when we least expect them. So Chiruma was given a very short time. I don't think people gave him a long leeway. And if by with the promises that are coming from people like Project C under reaching here about them going to install, I will not make such promises. Going to install and getting Chiruma to swear it to be sworn in and Bia will be gone by February 11, 2026. Let's wait and see what comes out of that. Because if you take people to the mountain and promise them all those things and then you still don't deliver, it's gonna look bad. Like I said again, let me keep repeating. Project C kicked me out of their forum just because I want to remain the Ambazonia that I am. They kicked me out. And I made contributions to them. I am still rooting for them. I am still hoping they succeed. I will still contribute if I see signs of them doing anything that is significant. I will still contribute financially. But right now, they seem to be projecting the playbook of the things we are trying to run away from.
What is the difference between Project C and this other organization in Cameroon, something led by Onga Onana?
I can tell you that I am not very familiar. I've not seen, I might have not been missing their information. I have been more on Project C because Eric told me about it and I support it. But I don't know of anything that is making any waves on the ground. I knew that the other thing was this Union for Change that was being led and organized by Njekam Chamini and Anise Kane.
Did you know Jerkam and Anise personally?
Yeah, I did.
That was
I did in the 90s. And Anise was very effective with the SDF. I don't know whether I was a member of the SDF, but if you see SDF in the 90s, Frundi was a revolutionary leader in our eyes.
Right.
We did not see the party politics. So the SDF is what came as a project to shake up the system, especially that illegal abolition of multi-party and then putting all the powers in the hands of one person. Unfortunately, it was mismanaged. When I left the United States in the 80s and returned home after finishing my MBA here, I tried to get work with Njekam Chamini's company. He had a company that they were producing computers for sub-African regions. So I went, he had a very impressive project that was going on, and I did go to see if there was possibility for me to work with them. But I ended up joining the civil service instead.
Interesting. Mike Fusi, I know Ambazonians are trying to rally around and to see what they can do given the opportunity that is out there. I know you have been leading some initiative out there. Can you give us a sense of the enthusiasm out there, especially in the diaspora, for Ambazonians, seeing what is happening in La République du Cameroon, please?
Yes, Comrade Chris, thank you for that question. That's something that we've been working on now, as you know, for almost a month now. And I can tell you that this initiative has been well received. There's a lot of optimism about it, but you can understand that this is not the first initiative of this kind. And previous ones did not quite work out. So there is that feeling of, is this going to end like the previous initiatives on the part of some? But I think we have learned our lessons from the past initiatives, and we're trying to do things differently this time. You remember that we started by just listening to the people, organizing a Zoom meeting where we just allowed people to give their suggestions as to what format any new unity structure should take. And we compiled all those ideas and we put them into a format which was then presented to the people again in another second and third Zoom meeting. And we now have a structure which during the last meeting, which was last Saturday, by the way, just to inform those who may not have attended, this meeting is the meetings often come up on Saturdays. I think it's 6 p.m. Amber time. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Amber time. At least for now, until we get everything rolling. So when last Saturday, the structure was actually adopted. It was adopted, but just because it's adopted doesn't mean that it has been closed for updates. It's still open for updates, but the structure as it is now has been adopted. And the last meeting we went into the initial formation of committees, or at least the discussion of it. And during the week, we'll be meeting with some other groups that had indicated interest and played a role in establishing this document. I'm here referring to the CRC and the HCRR and other groups that and the SCAF too has come in and provided some members who will join the committees, and we are very hopeful and optimistic this time that this one will work. So I'm encouraging those who have not had the time to join these meetings yet to come in. It is open to everybody. Nobody is prevented from making their suggestions or contributions. You come in and you're given time to express yourself, and we listen to everybody and we simply soak up all the ideas and we use them to complement what has already been established. We are adopting a continuous improvement approach to this initiative. There's no time when we will say, oh, we've done it all and there's nothing more to improve. No, if you come in and you have an idea that can improve what has already been done, we will welcome that idea and apply it to improve what has already been put in place. So, comrades, this is a time when,
if I may ask,
yes.
What has been the response of the different groups, factions out there? Have they sent in representation into this movement, new effort that is being put in place?
Yes, when you talk about groups, like I've said, the groups that have sent in representations are the CRC, the HCRR sending in, SCAF has sent in. I think one of the IGs has sent in representatives. We are still waiting on the others to come in, but we are extending again. What we are doing is...
What is CRC?
The Conflict Resolution Committee that has been going on for quite some time now. They've done really some good work and identifying...
Why is it considered a group?
We remember we are open to not just groups, but communities and even private individuals who have something to contribute. Like we said, we are broad based. We're open. We don't want to limit anybody from coming in. So when we talk about groups, even communities, like you have a community of Brazilians in South Africa or in Norway, and they want to come in and be part of the initiative, they are welcome. We want to open the door to everybody and to break the door of all these factions, and we are so compartmentalized so much that it becomes difficult for us to do anything. So when the initiative is not meant to for groups only, like we have always known. So egg of C or IG this,
Because
IG that.
my little issue there is when you say every little group that you realize that there are certain main groups that then encompasses everybody out there. I mean, when you talk of the IG, for example, then you talk of a group in South Africa, you talk to a group in France. That group, they have loyalty to either the IG or to AGOFC or to SCNC. So why not concentrate on building a group that consists of these major groups, knowing that they then act as a pool to bring in these other little things like CRC that you mentioned?
I understand, I get your question very well. But if you look at the composition or the consistency of these groups right now, you realize that they are not what they used to be. A lot of these groups have lost members, and many of these members are loose elements out there. They are not quite affiliated to any of these groups right now. If you look at the membership of any of these groups, you want to really count, they are not many. Some of these groups are actually shadow groups with not a lot going on in there. So if you had to concentrate only on these groups, you will not have a lot of people to deal with. So we are trying to scoop everybody out there, including those who, for one reason or the other, had felt discouraged or whatever, and we're just floating out there. We want to be able to scoop up everybody and bring them in, including the existing groups.
All right, let me get to Ebini there. I know you have been in one of those meetings and made your own contributions. What, in your opinion, do you think Ambazonians should be doing at this moment to seize the opportunity for something that they haven't done until now?
Well, I was, you invited me to the initial first meeting, and I attended. When I was in that meeting, I left with the impression that not again. So after observing for this maybe 10 years all the things we've gone through and all the opportunities we have missed and all the mess, some of the mess that we've done ourselves in dividing ourselves and killing even the warmth of spirit amongst us, which is part of what we are losing. You can, Chris, you and I have been together. We've been on and off. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't talk. And that's what has been going on. Some of us who have minds like this, that we can look beyond disagreements and all the like, we stick to relationships, we stick to brotherhood. Not really the issue. The fact that I disagree with you does not make you my enemy. I still see value in what can come out of you. None of us is perfect. And there's none of us who is a giant who can do it alone. We are here because it's a collective. It's not about the superiority or quality of one individual against other people. It's all of us, every one of us in this revolution, in our existence in community, not only revolution, has something that has been put there divinely and ancestrally put into us to be a thing that if we can understand it ourselves, we bring into community to help with pushing community forward. It's not about our individual successes, because we are very resilient as individuals, and we can be able to get material things or jobs, career-wise, and all that thing very easily. That alone is not going to lift community, because once community is down, it doesn't matter how rich you are, you still remain a victim to the things that can happen to you or to the poorest amongst us. It can happen to the richest amongst us too. So this, our gathering together, is for us to be able to pull together a strength that is remarkable, and that is effective, and that can do anything. And we have a lot of challenges with our revolution, because we tried to do that, but we did not hold the grip of it. That's why we are in dispersed rank and not really relating to each other. I was in Atlanta some time ago to celebrate with one of our comrades, Sisiko Arimbi, who was turning 80, and his wife was turning 70, and then their marriage was 50. And I was very, very happy. I've never seen a person like Dr. Tita. He walked very warmly and came and greeted me. That was the first time I was meeting him. That's the spirit. When we meet, that's the spirit that we should harness. We should start with that individual warmth, and then it makes magic when we come together in a way that it controls, it can subdue even the negatives that can come out of our disagreements. Our disagreements become a strength. So we have this tendency to not listen to each other. Once a person starts something, you feel like just the fact that you're starting it, it must be a success, and any other thing that people think it's an affront, it's a negative, or it's trying to destroy. And I have learned that, and I try to stay away from that. Like Mark Fossey, you saw me talking on Mark, that he ran away from me. I see something that is good in Mark Fossey, in the sense that he was in your group. When I say your group, don't take it in an offensive way. He was in your group of the IG, and I was not part of that per se, as far as membership is concerned. And when I was doing an initiative, something that I was running, he contributed. Those are the things that I see in people. So if Mike is trying to do something, first of all, don't stress yourself too much on having everybody on board and creating a structure that might become very cumbersome and an impediment to your progress. If you can rally a few people, which is what I've been trying to get, if this revolution we are talking now, if I was successful with the Cyber Country Sunday, that was doing a lot of work for some time on the ground, that I was successful to have 200 or 100 committed people who were putting just a little bit, even $10, and we do things, that would have been growing by now with people seeing effectively what we are doing. So let's get away this desire of, say, everybody must be under the umbrella before something happens. Let talk to people with things that you are already doing with a few. Like all of us here now, you see, we are talking about a Kane, and it's a Kane dying in prison. One thing that I can praise all of us, because it's not because I do it that I'm the only one. I know that every one of us is doing something with somebody of our comrade who is in prison. If you look at them, since they went, like our leadership of the Naira 10 and others, since they went into prison, we cannot allow them to drink water. That is in that place, they will die. We cannot allow them to eat or go hungry. They will die. So death, it can occur even to those of us out here, but at least I take pride in the fact that those of us who show our faces and those of us who are anonymous and all the like have been doing something very great to keep those people in prison by not subjecting them to the poison that they could give them in that prison. So if Mike comes up with something like that for us to take something, there's just so much right now to do in this revolution that we don't just have the capacity because of what has happened to us. I might be lucky, or you might even be lucky to walk ways to get an audience with Paul Biya than I can be able to have access to Sako, who is just a few miles away from me. That's part of the problems we've had.
Is he
So,
not
Mike, if
visiting?
you,
Is Sako not visiting with you? He is your neighbor right there in your backyard.
I don't even remember the last time I talked with Sako. If I call him now, I don't even have a right number for him. And I tell you, let me tell you something. You know Governor George Achu, right?
Yeah.
That is a man who wanted to be very supportive. You know the history of a great man like that. Governor Achu, before he died, came crying to me how Sako appointed him something in his government, and he went even to Sako's house to try and see him. And Sako told him, "Hey, I'm very busy. I can't see you now. Try to book and see me sometime, some other time." That is Sako towards Governor Achu.
But you ought to understand, Doug. You don't just walk to the president's door to see him like that.
Ah, come on.
Come on.
I know you are
He is
a
the
man of great
president. You
humor.
know
This
that. You don't just
this
walk.
one is a dry. Praise. So we do this thing. The point. Let me tell you something, Chris, and most of the element, the people we are working with now, most of our young people did not know our history or did not see anything West Cameroon or Southern Cameroon. So we must have that in our mind with the challenges that we are having. All of you here, Mike, you and Chris, you are young people compared to me. You should be very happy and count
Come
yourself
on.
blessed
Are
to have an old man like me who is still
Oh,
energetic and still
come on,
focusing on this revolution.
how old are you? 70?
come on.
No, Chris, you want to know my age?
Yes. And I tell you mine.
This Christmas would make me 72 years old.
72 years old. That is.
And he said Kana is just 2 years older than me.
That is 5 years. Just 5 years ahead of me.
I am your big brother. Respect me. Stop talking like that.
I respect that.
Well,
all right.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Mike. I have looked at myself from Cameroon to now. I know the blessing that has been put in me. As an individual, I can have many faults and all the like. I know the blessings that have been put in me, and that I have embraced and carried very jealously. That has been put in me for this revolution. Financial integrity. Nobody has ever, when I say I want something that they contribute money, even in my name, I've ever questioned or felt that something is happening. I know that was put in me. If people recognize it, that it will serve this revolution, and I have kept that and make sure that I don't mess that up.
Yep.
You, Mike, you have something that is in you. Even if everything else does not work, you have something in you that has been divinely placed to put on the table for our collective success. When we see all those things, and then people see those things in you, and they come closer to you, and you mess that up, you are messing up a whole community, a whole program, a whole generation. So that is why we come together. We come together because everyone has an area of competence that would put. Not everybody. When you are a leader, the quality of a leader is to be able to get people who can do the things that you want to be done. So if you're a leader and you can't get people to do things, then you are not a leader.
That's true.
All right,
So
Mike.
that was my view of it. I think, Mike, as you are going with the project, I attended the first talk, and it was the same old stuff. Like it came across like Dr. Fontane's, what is that thing that he was calling again? Ambasonia what? And we should, once in a while, we should have these conferences or this video talk to give an account of what we have done. Not necessarily to start something. They become so cumbersome promises,
Well,
and you take time and you miss the moment.
well, Chris,
Dr.
Dr. Chris, you got to understand that at this moment we need resources pulled together. That is the essence of trying to bring everybody together. Because if you are there doing your own thing, Mike is there doing his own thing, Chris is here doing his own thing, the resources are divided. And at the end of the day, we're not able to support, not even enough support for those in jail, those in refuge in Central Africa and Nigeria. You lack resources to prosecute the entire struggle. That is, you recall that when we
I think we are saying the same thing, Chris. We are saying the same thing.
When we were a team from the formation of the interim government, money was not a problem until they started stealing it, siphoning it, buying Bitcoin, and investing in American financial and all of those things. Then, of course, people were bound to be angry and walk away. So, but I think this moment, I really think it is a moment to regather everybody, because if we have to sustain the struggle, resources must come together. Mike, I give you 1 minute. I give you one minute, and then we'll open the phone lines.
Yes, Comrade Chris, I just want to react. Dr. Bini, first of all, I want to appreciate the kind words from you there. I appreciate it. And I would like to extend another special invitation for you to attend another meeting of this initiative. You may not have been impressed.
Something is not right with your microphone, Mike. You may have to log out and log back in.
Let me see. I'm not muted or anything. Can you hear me now?
No, it's not good.
That is good. That is good.
Okay, that's good. All right. All right.
No,
So as I was saying,
it's still bad.
let me see here. What is the problem?
It's humming.
Okay, let me see. Let me see. I was in is that better now?
It's really bad.
Okay. Should
You
I
just have to log back in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while you log out and log back in, I will open the phone lines for you to call in with your contribution. Before you do that, I want you to know that the number you have on your screen or that has been put on your screen is a new number. Take note, that is a new number. But I want to make a very special appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe I may ask Dr. Ebini and Mike Fossey to weigh in on this. I think nobody out there disagree on the role that this TV channel has played in educating, inspiring, and informing Ambazonians as far as the Ambazonian independence struggle is concerned. We run ABS on satellite television to all of sub-Saharan Africa. We also run it on the YouTube and just the social media. But running it on satellite television is very critical, very important, because the people back in Africa, they don't have the luxury of the data. They do not have the luxury of the data that you all have in Europe, in the USA, and maybe in Asia. That is why we have to keep ABS on satellite. They don't have to pay. Once they have their satellite channels or antennas out there, they download the channels. They never have to pay a dime for watching it. In the diaspora, you have free internet, unlimited internet. You can watch for as long as you want on YouTube and Facebook. But they in Africa cannot do that. They don't have the internet latitude with which to do that, which is the reason why I really want to appeal, make a special appeal to you today. Please, please, if you value if you value what we are doing here almost on a daily basis on ABS, I appeal to you tonight to consider a one-time donation today so that we can keep ABS running on the satellite on ground zero. I may not be surprised if right now we are off satellite. I won't be surprised if callers call in and say the satellite is off. This is December the 2nd and we still haven't paid. I won't shy away from telling you, hey, help us to pay it. If you value what we do here, ladies and gentlemen, please, today, in the course of this program, in the few minutes left, I'd like you to call in, make a donation to support us to keep this channel on satellite. You can make a payment, a cash app payment on the number you find on your screen. You can make a cash app payment with that number. In fact, I will say, if you can make just anybody who can call in with $25, $50, or $100, we will very much appreciate it. So please, you can use the number on your screen to make a cash app donation, either $25, $50, or $100. If 100 people call in, with $50 or $100, we should be able to take care of the satellite for the entire month of December. That is my appeal to you. Please consider it. If you value what we do, if you appreciate what we're doing here, I'm not paid to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not paid to do this. I'm doing this because of the passion. That's just what it is. But we are helping the struggle, helping our people. I come and sit here and talk about Cameroon. I don't live in Cameroon. I never intend to go live in Cameroon or in Amazonia. But we still have family there that need to taste this freedom that we are tasting in America. And I'm sure you want to do that too. So please help us. Call today. If you need a Zelle number, call now. I will give you the Zelle number to be able to make that donation. Let me bring back Dr. Christmas Ebini and Mike Fusi to just talk about the importance of communication in the struggle like the one we have, in the battle like the one that is going on in Cameroon, talking about the revolution, the necessity for a channel like this one that fits the people, educate them, and update them on a daily basis. Dr. Ebini, please, briefly.
Well, and
Dr. Ebini, can
Chris,
you hear me?
Okay. Chris, you and I,
I can hear you, yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
You and I have had differences in the past and all the like, and I know that recently I called you and told you that you are doing much better and doing well with this program. And I encourage you to keep doing it. And I've been talking to people who have programs like yours to diversify in the future. If you can have the resources to diversify in the future, that we have other areas of interest. You can have a cultural hour, we can have a literary hour, and all those stuff beyond just the politics, so that there's that diversity that people with different interests can tune in. I have when you were saying.
Hold on, just hold your thought there. You are very correct, very correct. What we need to do, some of the things we are talking about, is a manpower. If you come up tomorrow and say, hey, I'd like to take up a 1-hour slot to produce this show, we are ready. You are a female out there, you want to take up a slot on ABS to produce a certain type of maybe cultural or fashion or social, political show, we are open to it. We want to diversify ABS to the extent where you tune on. You're not seeing just Chris Anu and seeing the other faces showing up on a regular basis. So it's a great challenge, and we are really looking forward to doing that in starting in January. We also want to bring in news, a news hour into ABS, and we're hoping that we can recruit reporters, anchors in strategic locations in Africa like Kenya, Nigeria, of course, La République du Cameroon and Ambazonia, then South Africa. That is what we are looking up to. But again, just as you, Dr. Ebene, said, we need people who are interested in producing shows. I bet you if the idea of your show is good, we will definitely accommodate you. And you don't have to be Cameroonian or Ambazonian. You can be anywhere from Africa. We will accommodate you. Go on, please.
Okay, so normally, I have my own little kind of creative mind and certain things that can give a push, especially when it comes to fundraising. Like you talked about getting us together. Remember in the days when we were good together, people were contributing. If you remember just the tax filing of the IG of Sako in 2018, the tax filing alone, for that year alone, and just one group, and just the one that was legally presented to the IRS was 1 million, above 1,400,000 dollars CFA. So if we can create that trust and the environment to get our people together, it will be a good thing. As I'm here, we are friends and we can work together. I don't mind putting in my own, my face and my own thoughts for us to get in that place. That's what we have been struggling for. I don't try to kill anybody's hope. I try always to look for what is good in people. And so for this project, right now, I'm joining you to beg our population and people all across to support this TV program. Because I remember I saw, who is this guy? Ajua?
Yeah, Chris Ajua.
I met Chris Ajua at a function, and I say, hey, he looked like your man Chris Andu is beginning to do something that I like. And he said, okay, talk to him, always encourage him, always encourage him. That's what Chris Ajua said. So as you said that you want a contribution of $25 at least minimum and all the like, I'm going to do my own to encourage right now to give $25 in the name of Njekam Chamini, $25 in the name of Anise, $25 in the name of Seseko Julius Ayuktabe, and $25 in the name of President, if he's elected, although I don't know what to call him, Issa Chiruma. Let these people that I'm contributing in their names and their faces and whatever, encourage other people.
You didn't mention my name. Am I not important?
No, you're the man of the program. That would be redundant. So this is just a start. This is just a start. And I'm not putting for my own name. I'm putting for these people. It's just like in the days when we're raising funds. I always contributed money, like $100 for Justice Ebong. I contributed for Mula Mutumbe. I contributed for Pa Bojidinka, and all of those are our icons. So I am doing this for these people, hoping that it would rally people just seeing these names. If you put out your list there, mark their contribution. I've just set that up. Maybe in the future, I'll be still dropping in some money in their names so that their legacy remains up.
All right, that is very much appreciated. That is a total of $100 out there. Thank you very much, Mike Fusi, please.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. I hope my audio is better this time.
It's better now, yes.
It is.
I want to again say that I appreciate the kind words that Dr. Bini expressed there on my behalf. I do appreciate it very much. And I appreciate the fact that you are always open-minded and to talk and interact with other Ambazonians. No hard feelings. We may have differences, but our ability to still come together and exchange ideas, that is what is going to determine whether we are able to sit together in one room, uh, be it virtual or what, and contribute ideas that ultimately should lead us to where we want to go, being the freedom of the Southern Cameroon, some Amazonia. So I would like to extend again a special invitation to you, Dr. Bini, to join the meeting again coming up this Saturday. You may not have been as impressed with the first meeting because we had all kinds of people in there, everybody fighting to make their voices heard. But I think it's more structured now, and we have found ways of controlling the meetings better than we did during that first meeting. So I'm sure you will not be disappointed if you should join us.
I promise I'll be there. Please, if you know I'm an old man, if you don't see me, send me a reminder, and I'll try to be there.
I will
Sometimes
do.
these things are too many things in the community that you miss things not because you don't want to be there.
I know. I will make sure to remind you. I'll personally send you the link. Yes.
Okay.
So back to that this very initiative again. I want to take this moment to again encourage our Amazonians. It is time that we focus on what is important. Let's look at the liberation or the freedom of the Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia should be our guiding star at this point. Nothing else matters. Not any insult that anybody can hurl at you. Nothing else should matter. But that singular objective, if we should just focus on that, and we plan together and strategize together, and first of all, come together and be able to listen together. And somebody may decide not to attend a meeting. Maybe the idea that's supposed to give us our freedom is the one that you are keeping. You may be holding that one idea, that suggestion, that strategy. By not attending, you deprive us of our progress that should have come from that very lofty idea that you have. So I'm calling on everybody again to join us. This is a broad-based initiative. There are a vast number of people in there, people with whom we have not interacted for a long time. But we are in there now, exchanging ideas and strategizing and putting a structure, learning from the mistakes of the past and making sure that we don't repeat them again. So I want to encourage all to be with us again. It's this Saturday, 6 p.m. Amber time, and the Zoom link will be shared in, I think, all of the revolutionary fora that we have out there. Now, let me just make one last statement about what is going on in La Republic, and in general about the politics that has affected us so much. We have heard, I think I heard a statement from somebody yesterday that said France offered to Chiroma that he should allow Paul Biya to be in power again for another 3 years, and then thereafter he can take over. And it just smacks of the arrogance that France and others have treated Africans with. Because the question I ask myself is, if this same situation happened in France, will somebody propose to the person who won the election to allow the person who lost the election to lead for another 3 years before he can take over? These people always feel that we don't deserve the same things that they enjoy. That when it comes to Africa, we should be left with the chaffs. The unappealing things are okay for us, but not for them. Have we ever seen in Europe where a leader changed the constitution of their country to run for another term? And yet these are the same people. These are the same people who will welcome these people who violate their own democratic norms, the norms that they themselves say are the principle by which other countries ought to live. But then when it comes to Africa, they have to, it's like the formula of democracy in Africa has been tampered with. One of the variables has been manipulated so that each time an African country tries to use the formula for democracy, all they get is dictatorship. the only thing that gets spun out is dictatorship. No matter what we do, we keep getting dictatorship. And they keep telling us, oh, democracy is right. But if democracy were so right, how about you doing something to help us defend it? Why not help us defend the democratic values that you so much preach? You are the same people welcoming a man like Paul Biya, who has been in power for 43 years, and you call him Mr. President. If Paul Biya were in France, would he be the president of France today? That's the question. And we need to condemn this hypocrisy of the West, where they feel that Africans do not deserve the same good things that they enjoy. So somebody like a murderer like Paul Biya gets called Mr. President. Macron welcomes him, gives him the red carpet. And then you come and tell us that sometimes I feel that democracy, when it was conceived, it was not conceived with Africa in mind. It is only it is only because when Africans saw that we started advocating for democracy, they said, okay, you just have it. But they made sure that the principles of democracy were tampered with and then given to the African countries, knowing that we will never get the full benefits of democracy as they do. Because if we were to enjoy the same benefits, then it will be difficult for them to come in and exploit us as they have done.
All right. All right.
That is it. So I want to encourage us Brazilians that despite these headwinds that we are facing, we have seen a new wind blowing through Africa where there are some promising leaders that are standing up and challenging the status quo and taking back their sovereignty and their dignity, and they are doing great things for their people. We too can do it. All we need is a determination to succeed. And in order to succeed, fellow comrades, we have to come together. There is strength in unity. This is the moment for us to come together and make sure that we are speaking with one voice. We have one diplomatic file. We have one communication message, speaking with one voice, one purpose, and speaking to the world so that they know that we are together and that will mean what we say.
All right, Mike, let's get to the phones. Hello.
Yes, hello, Comrade Chris.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Texas. I want to first start by thanking the panel. You guys is such a great panel over there, Mike Fusi and Dr. Ibini. I'm going to start with something which is very close to my heart. And this is, talking about, us coming back together. We are so divided. And, we've made some mistakes in the past. The best we can do is to learn from our mistakes, like my brother said, Mike Fusi, and start building up something. But again, what Mike Fusi said again about the allegation from France, coming from France, about Issa Chiroma conceding some power, we have to understand what kind of a country Cameroon is. It's not a real country. Cameroon is a country that has a flag, they have their own anthem, they even have a soccer team, a representation in the United Nations, but it's a country that another country has to make all the decisions for them. It's a country that cannot even mint its own money, it cannot take any decision, so it's not a real country, right? And then I have seen people come on your show and they talk about having 10,000 men, that Paul Biya will be out by Christmas. Another guy says Cameroonians have played their role and they should not go out to protest, that they don't want to lose a single soul and things like that, right? They're talking about that they have someone even said they have an underground project that you, Chris, you don't even know nothing about, right? And I find that that's to me that's like cowardice, because these are people who are do nothing people, right? We know that for any meaningful action to have taken place we saw it in Sudan, in Egypt, in Syria, in all these countries. It was the power, the people who rose, right? And when the people come out, if you take the case of Cameroon, if the people come out in their numbers, There's about 30 million Cameroonians. If they come out, the ratio, if I did my math correctly, is 1 soldier per 10,000 people. There is not enough soldiers to stop the population if they come out in numbers. So if Cameroonians really, yes, sir.
Look at the population that showed up on the election eve, on election night in the Marua.
Right.
Can you imagine you have that population show up just in each town? Can you imagine?
As a matter of fact, half of it, if that was half of that population, could show up across the territory. Across the territory. This thing would be, that is the true momentum. So when we see people come on air and they're saying that we don't want people to die, we don't want, it's appalling.
All right. All right. I hope you are supporting ABS today, sir.
Okay, Comrade Chris, that's a promise. I'll be reaching out.
Well, the number is on your screen.
It's
very critical. I don't think we're on satellite today.
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right. Thank you, sir.
It is critical. No, not that. You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. The phone line is open. Go ahead and call in. Let's know what is on your mind. And again, we are making this very special appeal for support for ABS. Please consider, if you really enjoy what we do here on ABS and you value it, do us the favor. You can chip in $25, $50, or $100 today to get ABS to stay on satellite, especially for this month of December. All right. Again, the phone line is open. You go ahead and call. While waiting for your call, let me put the ABS donation buttons or platform on the screen. You can support with the phone number you have there. The 301-332-4153 number is both for Cash App and for Zelle. But you can also do Cash App with the 1-346-401-3280 number. Again, that number for the live calls, you can also do Cash App with it. If you want to do Zelle, you can use the 301 number and just text your receipt to the live calls number so we can acknowledge you. Please go ahead and do that, please. Go ahead and do that. In the meantime, waiting for your phone calls. Go ahead with your phone calls. Let's hear what you have on your mind. All right. The phone line is open. You can go ahead and call. So, my Fossey, who were talking about support for ABS, I thought you had something to chip in about that.
Yes, Comrade Chris, of course, we have been doing this, pleading on people to step in and provide their support for ABS TV. I mean, look at the number of persons watching right now just on YouTube and Facebook, not to talk of those who are watching on satellite back home. The importance of communication for a struggle like ours, when ABS is down, Ground Zero is crying, and there's almost a feeling as if the struggle is dead just because ABS is not on. So if you are fighting a revolution and you are not able to give out your message, your efforts are kind of hindered. That is why one of the things that I normally set up during a struggle like ours is a communication a means for the people to receive instructions and information and updates on what is going on, and inspiration too, motivation to understand that the struggle is going well. And that is why a lot of dictators, they don't, when they have power, they try to control the media. Why do they do that? Because that is how they get to control the people. For example, Comrade Chris, I think you are doing the Chiroma people a great service here by providing them a means for their supporters to get some information because there is no news media outlet in La Republic of Cameroon that will cover anything positive about Chiroma right now. So that is the importance of having something like this. We cannot overemphasize the importance of it. And I would really urge people, those our viewers out there, if you really value what the programming that you are receiving here, it is important for you to support it. It is important for you to support it. Even here in the U.S., we have fundraisers, for example, stations like NPR, they conduct fundraisers every time to support the stations. So without money, you won't have it. That's just the way things are. And for a lot of these programs that you watch, if you had to pay for that, would be a lot of money. But they're just asking for something here and there just to keep the station running. It's not a profit-making venture. It's just for our people to be informed and educated on what is going on and get some motivation so they can stay focused on the struggle.
All right, let's get back
Comrade Mike.
Let's
Mike.
get back. Chris,
Yes,
hold
Doc.
on a second. Let's get back to the phone, then I get back to you. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maryland, bro. I'm so delighted to talk to you today. I've been struggling for almost a year to talk to you.
Oh, my. Is that how important I am?
Yeah, I've been struggling. I talked to John Bakuro last time. I said, man, I've been struggling. They blocked me from talking to you. You remember me? I'm coming from Jongo, so you know I don't want to even disclose my identity with you. I will call you behind the scenes so we can talk.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes, because I have even Mama died. I struggled to catch up with you at the funeral. I couldn't have time. I couldn't because there was a lot of population.
Right.
I took the other number from the junior brother here. He gave me 2 numbers. I called the block everywhere for my number because a lot of people have been blocked from you.
I understand why. My phones change, the numbers change. Even this number that you're speaking on is quite new.
Yeah, I just got it now. I'm actually driving. When you gave the new number, I said, let me try. When I tried, I said, oh, I finally got this guy. So
all right.
I will call you behind the scene. So yeah, I will talk to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, sir. Comrade Chris, go on, sir.
No, I was just saying what Mike was saying. It's just that our people don't know how to rally very well. The technology has helped us so much that one of the tools that made dictatorship very effective is the silencing of people and the control of information.
Right.
Which, if you look at it, they don't have right now. And so we have all tools. Everybody, if you have a cell phone, you have a modern phone, you can be a journalist. Anybody can do things because of that information, and even things within the dictatorship itself has disgruntled people inside who use technology to leak out information so that the public can have. Some of these things we are having coming from the government is because there are people inside there too who are helping, who are not happy. But they do their own whistle blowing in a different way, that they leak out information so that we are aware, hoping that we can use such information and rally and put pressure to get the guys out. And in the 90s, many of us we did not make enmity with people who work for the government and all the like, because some of them were very supportive and helpful to us. I mean, some information that saved some of our lives was leaked from Presidency, the police, and all that. That people would tell us not to be in certain places, and we would change venue of meetings because, and they'll be looking for where we are. They won't find us. So that's a good thing for us to promote information in this country. If you look at a leader like Trump, he doesn't play even negative information, putting it out there. He's always very happy to take advantage of it. He just likes the mention of his name in the media. So those things are very good. And also to one thing I'm contributing in Chiruma's name too is because Chris, whether we like it or not, Chiruma made your stock price to go very high. the moment he went to Bamenda and said you are his best friend, and he mentioned you, that really uplifted to your because in the past, before Chiroma did that and went to Bamenda and say he talked to you, a lot of people who have come on their program were distancing themselves from anything that had to do with us, any person that had to do with Ambazonia. And then now there's this rush for all the people who condemn us to come to your channel. So that's a very good thing, and that's why what we are benefiting from Chiruma.
Well, let's hope that that benefit actually actualize and maybe change the trajectory of what we are fighting for. Dr. Ebeni, Mike Fusi, it's great to have both of you today. In the absence of any calls, we are going to end it at this moment. Thank you very much for joining, sir.
No, thank you for having me. And Mike, take care. Nice talking to you, Mike.
Me too, Doc. Me too. It was nice talking to you. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Certainly.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
All right.
Okay. Before I go once more, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to appeal to you to come to the help of ABS. No donation is so small. $25 or $50 or $100. The number you have on your screen, you can use it for Cash App. If you need a Zelle number, we have a 301 number that you can use for Zelle, and that is the number there. That number 301-332-4153. That's a Zelle number. You can use your phone to take a screenshot, and when you make your payment, just send us a receipt so that we can acknowledge you for supporting ABS. It is very, very critical at this moment. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to being back here on Thursday. Wednesday is off. Thursday, back on. However, if there is breaking news, if there is any breaking news tomorrow, you can trust that I will be here. But until then, I will be back on Thursday, waiting for your support, your donations for ABS. Thank you very much, and God bless.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target.
43 years the river has flowed. Same bank, same stone, same winding road. But the youth are calling with voices loud, breaking through the grey morning cloud. The land is tired, the people are strong, waiting, praying it won't be long. one man stepped from the halls of power to stand with us in this urgent hour. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
In every village, every crowded street, hearts are pounding with history's beat. The hands that built this nation cry for schools that teach, for truth not lies, for bread on tables, for work and pride, for leaders who will walk beside, not above us, not beyond our reach, but one who practices what they preach. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, we raise our prayer that change will come and justice be fair.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child of Cameroon.
To the elder who has served so long, your chapter's written, your story strong. Find your ease now in honor and grace. Pass the torch to a younger face. Let Cameroon remember you, not for holding on, but letting through. The dawn that's breaking, the hope reborn. This is not defeat, it's a gentler moon. Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream, a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, we believe, to come home.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, you carry our dream,
Chiroma,
a beacon shining where hope has been. From the mountains to the shore, the people stand ready to rebuild this blessed land.
Chiroma, oh Chiroma, light the way home for every child